What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock, what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow based off what the charts are showing and based off what the data is suggesting. I'm also going to break down what Jerome Powell and the Fed announced today. That's very important for the markets. Talk about what the data is showing for the SPY as well and how this may affect Tesla, and also what's going on with the news for Tesla before I end this video with tweets from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Elon Musk, as we have some good updates for Tesla's future. Now, before I break anything down, before I talk about Elon Musk and Tesla's share price and my price prediction for tomorrow, I got to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And the best part is, out of these 12 free stocks, one of them could be a free Apple share. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 7 days, so please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, we're up 1.96% for the day, a little bit green in the after hours as well. And SPY actually made a pretty decent move. SPY's up over $400, which is where we closed. And once again, pretty decent price action. Now, today was a crazy roller coaster. If you actually watched the SPY, we actually gapped down into open. We came tumbling down as we opened. We had a huge rally all the way up to the 400 range, came all the way down to about 395, a huge drop with crazy red candles, followed by a big push near the end of the day. We traded sideways for some time. We got this massive push into the close, causing SPY to close at $400. So what was going on in the markets? Obviously, Jerome Powell was speaking. Also, other big Fed officials were speaking. Janet Yellen was speaking as well. And also, we had lots of big pieces of news as well. So all these big things were happening. Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, did not necessarily say anything new that we haven't already heard. He basically vowed to raise rates very soon to fight inflation. He mentioned that the jobs report is basically doing all right, but he did mention that there could be some pain in the future for it. But he is devoted to bringing down inflation down to their 2.25 to 2.5% level very, very soon. And he's very, very, very optimistic for the future regardless of that. Now, looking down right over here, we could see that the Fed's Evans right over here, he also mentioned some very important things. He mentioned the fact that the Fed is very keen on making the same moves as before, and we may get a big rate hike in September, and that obviously for the most part it has been priced in, but because he actually stated it that way, the market ended up kind of reacting to a lot of the things he said, and we did see lots of crazy volatility as a result of that. Now, if we look at SPY though, I mean, SPY pushed up pretty hard. We had pretty decent volume towards the end of the day, a strong power hour, so this is a sign that we might get a slight continuation going into tomorrow, but there's also the possibility that this is a trap as well. I'm going to show you exactly why that's very, very possible. So looking at the data, right here, the price comparison between Tesla and the SPY, you can see how similar they tend to be. And because of the fact that institutions have a plan for SPY, it may actually end up affecting Tesla once I show it to you. And right now, the price pairs ratio is still on this uptrend as of right now, which goes to show the big comparisons we can make between their price actions. Now, as far as volume goes, SPY had pretty decent volume for the day. I think Tesla right over here also had okay volume. It wasn't as great, but we were pretty green, so it's a-okay. Now, there is one thing that concerns me about SPY, and when you see this, it's going to make a lot of sense. All right, right here, I have the options chain for SPY. And what you'll notice is I went over this yesterday, and the ratio was like 1.1 something, meaning that there were about 1.1 times more puts than calls just yesterday. Now, SPY ends up closing above $400, and all of a sudden, we have an update. It's now a 1.94 ratio. This means that there are 1.94, or at least that's the ratio of puts to calls. So we have over 900,000 puts now. The large majority of them are out of the money, and we have a bunch of calls a lot of them are in the money, but not as many calls as before. Max Pain now is at $396. So Max Pain is the price in which a stock can end up closing on a Friday that will lead to the most pain or the most money for the market makers that manipulate the market and profits off the bid to ask ratio. So with that said, the market makers would actually benefit a lot more if SPY ends up coming down to 395, 396, and we close around there for tomorrow. So does that guarantee it will happen? Not necessarily, but it seems a little bit more likely, in my opinion, that maybe SPY pushes up into open, but we get a big rejection and we end up actually closing kind of red. I think that's what's going to end up happening. Once again, this is just a key sign of this because it doesn't make sense for institutions to buy a ton of puts to open a bunch of short positions that expire tomorrow just out of nowhere, right? It seems like they're planning on something and they might actually rug pull the whole market tomorrow, in my honest opinion. This is what this is essentially suggesting. Now, from Tesla's end, if we look at the options chain, Max Pain is at $278. That does not guarantee Tesla will come that low, but there is a big chance that we could actually see Tesla come down a bit near the end of the day, especially because when you look at the put to call ratio, it's pretty balanced, but Tesla does tend to get affected by SPY because right now the market's very weird. The QQQ, the Nasdaq, the SPY, they all tend to run almost in unison, and Tesla's also tracking them pretty well as well. So, anyways, looking at Tesla and what I could essentially see happening is the SPY right now. It's looking like it's going to push to that 401 to 401.5 range. We're going to have lots of resistance there. If we break past that, it's very possible we could still get a slight push, maybe as a trap, whether it's a trap or not. I could see SPY either getting rejected off 401. If not 401, then 405 is another key zone. So if the SPY ends up making it up here, it's very likely we get a big rejection and we come tumbling down and we end up closing kind of red, in my opinion. For Tesla, what am I essentially seeing? We formed a nice double bottom like formation. We pushed all the way up to resistance. We're very close to that $290 level of resistance. It looks like Tesla will either get rejected here or push up a little bit more, in my opinion. Maybe we get to 294 if SPY is that bullish, but then I do think it's a little bit more likely that we get a big rejection once SPY likely does, and Tesla will come down pretty hard. Now, how hard will Tesla come down? It really depends on how we react to support and resistance levels. So if we look at max pain, it's at 278. That does not matter as much because Tesla's pretty far from that, unless Tesla does end up dropping as low as 280. If we do see it actually drop to 280, maybe come a little lower, then I could see that playing a big role. If not, I mean, I could still see Tesla coming down just slightly at the very least, and I think that's what's most likely going to happen. And I know you guys don't like to hear that because we finally got a nice move from Tesla after we saw the big fluctuations, the crazy volatility from the markets as Powell was speaking. That's exactly what I told you guys would happen yesterday. We'd see lots of crazy volatility, maybe some upside because Powell does like to pump the markets. And it wasn't just because of him, there were other factors too. But specifically for tomorrow, this is what I'm essentially seeing. So first, I'm going to give you guys my prediction, and then I'm going to talk about support and resistance levels in case my prediction is not always correct, because I'm not always going to be correct. Nobody can predict the market perfectly. I do it for the sake of the viewers because you guys have requested that, and I do respect and want to do the best for all of you. So for Tesla, if we look at it, going into tomorrow, this thing is going to fight 290 right at open. If the SPY manages to push up, we get a lot of momentum. It is possible for us to break past this and come all the way up just like this. Now, the truth is, if we do this, there's a chance that this could be a trap, and it could be those big institutions trying to trap a lot of investors from a very bullish move. We may not get all the way to 295, maybe like 293, 294, and we could get a big rejection after that as time goes on. So if we get rejected like this, you have to watch for that $290 range that's going to act as support. And we most likely won't hold that. So we'd come down all the way down to that 284.5 to 285 range. So right about here, Tesla's going to see a lot of action kind of like this. I'm going to extend this a bit. I know I'm going a little over where the day would end, but please bear with me. Now, if Tesla doesn't hold this, the next key zone for it is going to come all the way down to that 280 to 278 range. And as of right now, I don't see it dropping that hard. That would be a crazy drop, but it is definitely possible considering what institutions are capable of doing. So I would anticipate a close maybe around the lower 280 range, maybe kind of close to 284, just like that. But I want to just make it clear, if we end up dropping really hard, if SPY does tank and institutions, the shorts come in and they come in very hard because the market makers like to profit off these types of price actions, that they're already prepared for this. Institutions already have enough puts for a big move to the downside for tomorrow. So if that happens, watch 280 to 278. That's a very key zone. The max pain happens to be at 278. I mean, I can't guarantee Tesla will come that low. It's going to be pretty unlikely, but if it does, pay very close attention in that range right over there. Now, this is what I'm essentially predicting. If I'm wrong, and if this does not end up happening, please watch support and resistance levels and play the charts as you wish, because you have to know what's very important to look at. $290 a share is going to be resistance. If we break past that, I'm going to be watching for that 294 to 295 range. If we break past that, then 300 is on the table, or the high 290s. Now, if we're not that bullish and we end up coming down, please watch for, let me see, that 284 to 285 range. If that doesn't hold us, then 280 to 278 is on the table. If that doesn't hold, then it's 275, 272, followed by 270 flat. Now, I'm just naming support and resistance zones so you guys could really understand how this thing may get those rejections, how it may end up performing for tomorrow. And with that said, I want to talk about a couple of other indicators before I transition into the news part. So hiding all indicators, we could see this nice move from Tesla, very, very big push over the last couple of days. Once again, looking pretty good, but I can't guarantee it's going to continue to push like this forever. From a short-term perspective, on the RSI, it's still a little bit high right now, kind of like overbought, at least slightly. So I'm going to be very, very cautious when it comes to playing this to the upside if you were to be doing this. I'm not giving financial advice, by the way. And on the daily, we are seeing a move kind of like this. So we are getting a bit of a reversal right here, but reversals like this are not guaranteed to be true reversals unless we get those big continuations. So we'll really have to watch for that for tomorrow. As far as the EMAs go, our MACD, our OBV, if you want to look at that, we could see some very interesting things here. The OBV is not coming down too hard. We're still seeing a lot of buyers stepping in. On the daily, the MACD is starting to curl a bit, which is a pretty good sign, but I'm not necessarily too confident considering we have CPI next week, I believe, and also, excuse me, also we have max pain being pretty high and institutions getting ready for something very big. RSI is picking up a bit, so that's a good sign. So it's really just one of those moments where you have to see how it reacts tomorrow and whether or not the manipulation takes over. Now, I'm still standing by my prediction that we will get a big rejection, end up closing kind of red. So be prepared for anything, be prepared for that, and get ready for tomorrow. I do think it's going to be another roller coaster of a day. With that said, I want to actually transition into this part right over here. We can see some breaking news that just came out because Tesla tripled their deliveries of and China made cars after the upgrade in Shanghai plant. So that's breaking news because Tesla's doing very, very well in China. They sold 76,965 Chinese made vehicles in August. Once again, they're doing very, very well after the big ramping up output moves in Shanghai. So they're doing very well there. But my only concern is the fact that the current situation in China may limit them. It's not confirmed just yet as of right now, but 60 plus million people are still on lockdown mode in China. So I really hope it does not slow down their production, their deliveries in China as well. But as of right now, right, we can't really say much until it happens. And as of right now, it has not happened. So I want to just make it clear, as far as Tesla goes, they're doing very well in China. Fundamentally, they're super strong. The only thing that slows them down would be those external factors, such as viruses or even, I would say, policies, what's going on with governments, and also supply chains. Now, another great piece of news is this right over here. Tesla is going to let you vote on Supercharger locations. And this is once again absolutely incredible because when more and more people buy these Tesla cars, there's going to be a bigger demand for the superchargers. And now that they're actually improving their customer service by letting people vote for them, this could be big for them as well. If more and more people want them at a particular location, this could incentivize more and more buyers in those areas to actually go to those supercharging networks and actually buy products around there if it's like a big mall or something. So that could be another big incentive for big businesses as well. And I really think that as time goes on, these are going to become very, very common, and we're going to see them in places all over the USA. It's going to become much better, and I think charging times are going to get faster and faster as well. Now, with that said, I want to transition into this part right over here. Hallmark's catalog tweeted that we have a lot of empty land in this country. I get what Elon Musk is always saying. If we just put a shift, a ton, I'm sorry about that, a ton of solar panels down there with good interconnections around the country, it would be very helpful. Now, Elon Musk responded and stated that so much empty land and only a tiny percentage needed to power the entire country. Musk does have a good point, in my honest opinion. And as for Tesla, it could actually highlight some more moves to come because Tesla's energy sector is getting bigger. It's a bigger part of their revenue. And I really believe that as time goes on, those sales of the solar panels are going to get bigger and bigger for them. And with all the land that Musk is talking about utilizing, it could be very big for them as well. So once again, big opportunity for Tesla. I'm super bullish for their long-term future. They're an absolutely fantastic company, but for the short term, I do anticipate some choppy price action, especially as the FOMC meeting is coming, CPI is coming out very soon, and also based off what institutions may be trying to play with all those SPY puts that they bought today, getting ready for a potential dip for tomorrow. Once again, not guaranteeing that this will happen, but I just think it's a lot more likely that it does happen than it doesn't, based off what they've done in the past and based off historical price action. Last Friday, SPY was pretty high. We got a big dump at the end of the day. I just want to remind you guys of that. Please be prepared, be ready, watch your charts, and do what you have to do. With that said, thank you all so much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon because the long term future is bright, and peace out.